Two presidents, two very different messages, both addressed to the American people. One is Trump, vowing to hit Iran extremely hard in the coming days, but saying he won't reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The other is Iran's president, who says peace is possible if they look beyond the fake news. So let's break down both and what they mean for where the war is going.
Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine.
A defiant speech with little substance. Trump says the US has almost achieved all of its goals, but that it would continue to escalate attacks on Iran. But no new developments in talks to end the war. He says regime change was never the plan, contradicting his own earlier positions. Instead, he framed US aims now to degrade Iran and prevent it from attacking his regional allies, Israel and the Gulf states.
They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form.
But the message US allies will likely take is the warning he gives about the Strait of Hormuz, walking back earlier promises to reopen it with force.
The countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily.
While many had predicted Trump to either announce a deal with Iran or a ground operation, nothing new was said. So perhaps like much of his communication over the last few weeks, it could be designed to bring oil prices down before the markets close for the weekend. And now the anxious wait begins to see if another escalation happens on Friday night, a pattern we've now become used to.
The speech was embarrassing, depressing, incoherent, and full of contradictions. I think Iran will be looking at that as a victory speech for them. It was a pity the president could not lay out his case.
But just hours before Trump's speech, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian published a 4-page letter on X, addressed to the American public. In it, he said the world stood at a crossroads and that Americans were being lied to about who Iranians were and the threat they posed. He said Iran had never initiated a war and that relations with the US were not always hostile. Instead, he said the US was acting as a proxy for Israel, who wanted to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American taxpayer dollar. While it's unlikely most Americans will read this letter, or that it will be covered widely by US media, it does show something interesting. That Iran's leaders are watching closely the conversations happening inside Trump's supporter base. And polling suggests nearly 2/3 of Americans want the war to end quickly, even if its aims aren't achieved. That's it from me today. Stay with us on Al Jazeera for all your updates in the war on Iran.